If you or someone you know is struggling with mortgage payments, listen up. Please welcome Realtor of Team VinnieSD at Keller Williams Realty, Vinnie Enriquez.
There he is. Vinnie, how you doing, man?
Good. Thank you.
Good to have you here.
Big hands. Not coming on to you, I'm just saying.
Should we start over? So Vinnie, seriously though, this is something that's kind of a big deal and something that I really am curious about. I know it's a specialty of yours for people who, as we've seen values come back a lot.
Yeah.
There's still a lot of people who are underwater though.
Yeah.
Not every area has come back roaring.
Yeah.
And some people bought at the very top of the market and have stuck it out for so long. But then there's other circumstantial situations where people just can't make their mortgage payments anymore. So what I want to try to figure out is now, because in the short sale market, everyone knew what to do.
Yeah.
There was commercials all the time. Hey, if you're having trouble with that. But what about now?
Yeah.
Are there options for people now? What do you do?
Yeah, there's still options, and it's funny you say that people have been waiting to come back up. Right now in California, I think it's around 5% of all homes are still considered underwater. So even though we've had a lot of progress in that, we're still behind. So there's a couple options. One of the big things that there's kind of not a lot of knowledge on right now is the HAFA program that a lot of people are aware about. It expired end of last year, last year.
So HAFA was the
relocation.
Relocation.
Yeah, so the $10,000 relocation that people would get when they're actually doing cash for keys or a short sale. So now the platform is through another government-backed program, but through California you go to it. It's up to $5,000. Separate though, before you'd go through the bank and you'd put that in the HUD, and now you actually do it separately. So you can get up to $5,000 for relocation. Some banks still do have relocation funds, but the big one, the HAFA one, that's no more.
That's gone. Okay, so
yeah.
So
that was a big change that happened.
Okay, so that was the macro item.
Yeah,
that is different now.
Exactly, but to go across the board, the big things are going to be modification, which is you're going to request from the bank showing that you can't make the payments anymore.
So that's step one.
Yeah, step one. What you want to do is you want to call the bank. Okay. You know, call the bank.
You do call the bank.
Yeah, they're going to tell you their options. They have to tell you their options legally. Be aware if they tell you that they're recording this phone call, you can technically record the phone call on them too. And you got to be aware that they have so many different call centers that sometimes John Doe over here doesn't know what he's actually supposed to be doing. When over here, they know what they're supposed to do in the legal department. So you really want to protect themselves because they're going. We've been in some situations where there's not the best practices that are happening with these banks.
So shocking.
Yeah, exactly. But you want to call them up, get your options for them. Request a modification if that's what you're looking for.
To get an offer, basically.
Get an offer from the bank. See what the options are. The options we're going to relay to you are going to be a modification, a forbearance. A forbearance is you're going to say, okay, we're going to hold off. We can't make the payments for the next 5 months, 6 months. Can you hold off the payments for us, and then we can reinstate the rest of it after 6 months? Sometimes they'll say yes. Sometimes they'll say no. Another one is going to be a deed of lieu. Okay, so all you're doing is you're signing off the deed of your property to the lender. Now, if there's a second and a third, then you have to get approval from the second and third that they're not going to get paid off it. You're just going to give it back to the first trustee. Then there's also a short sale where you find a realtor like myself that specializes in those kind of programs. And then there's also just letting it go to foreclosure.
Okay, so first step, I realize I can't make my payment, is I do call the bank, which in the past that was different. It was like, don't call the bank because they're going to try to swindle you into some sort of wacky deal, But you want to know at least, I guess, what those options are, but not necessarily like agree to something right away.
Yeah, you don't want to agree to anything. The thing is right now, and before it was a case, but more people are getting back into it. You get a lot of documents. You get a lot of people calling you. You get a lot of people door knocking. You get a lot of things, and you'll look at this paperwork that they're sending you, and you'll see that some of the stuff looks like it's from the bank. You know, so you have people that don't know, because for myself, I do this on a daily basis. My team does this on a daily basis, and so some of the stuff we look at, and it'll take me a double take to see if it's really from the bank or not from the bank.
Just a solicitor.
Exactly.
Who knows that you're in trouble and it's saying, all right, they might be expecting something from the bank. Let's make our marketing piece look like it's from
Exactly.
the bank.
So you don't know how many times I've heard it where people call these people up and they think they're talking to someone in the bank. They think they're talking to someone that's affiliated with the bank, that they have to work with this person. So they don't know if they're talking with the right person, dealing with the right person. So it can be really difficult. And it's really sad, especially when you deal with older individuals that might not, have the protection. And so that's why I say is call the bank, so you at least know that you have a representative with the bank. And you got to take everything with a grain of salt, but at least you're actually dealing with the right people.
The bank directly. So, maybe go into the bank and get a phone number from those guys or something like that, so it's legit.
It's legit, and that's going to be the easiest way. You can call me up, and I could tell you, but the reality is, if you're doing it on your own, call them up and just make sure you're actually dealing with a direct representative.
What if I don't like those options? In other words, what if I look at that and I go, you know what? There's no way I'm going to get back to that point. And this happens to a lot of people who spend their savings making their mortgage payments. This is a really sad thing, but they'll do it until they are out of money completely. They'll get completely drained, and then they'll be like, "There's no way. We never were going to be able to do it." So, short sales are something that I don't know. It was a huge thing a few years ago.
Yeah.
I don't even know if it's still happening. I mean, is it still possible to do a short sale?
Yeah. Right now we have so yeah, you can still do a short sale. Right now, just on a separate thing, we have around 2,000. I think it's around 2,000 properties in San Diego County that are currently in default. They're in some process of the default. Short sales and NODs, notice of sale, whatever it might be. But yeah, you can still do a short sale on property. And jump back a little bit. You can also sell the property traditionally too, if you have equity in the property. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a short sale if you're behind on your payments.
Gotcha.
But yeah, you can still do a short sale. It's similar to the modification process. So what happens is you're going to relate to the bank, or the representative, like myself, is going to tell the bank, this individual can't make the payments anymore. This is why they can't make the payments anymore. They're looking to sell the property. The bank is going to assess the property. Okay, they're going to do appraisal, a BPO, to assess what they feel the value of the property is. Okay, an individual like myself is going to get an offer for the bank, and then all those three of those items are going to be looked at. Now, once all three of those items are agreed upon, then you can have a agreed upon short sale, start escrow, and be a traditional.
So it's totally possible then. So if you're underwater, not able to make your payments, you don't have to go to foreclosure, I guess is where I'm headed with it, because I think a lot of times people don't know about that option, especially if you're unaware of how the business works, or if you didn't know what was going on during the short sale cycle. Maybe you were making your payments just fine in the last downturn, and you were like, we're fine, let's just stay. But things changed. And you heard the word short sale a bunch, but you don't really know what it is. So if you're underwater on the home, meaning that you owe more than what it's worth. You owe 500, it's worth 400. Okay, you're underwater. That 100 grand, and you can't just go sell the property in a traditional sense, because you got to come up with that 100 grand.
Exactly.
But you can still sell it and get yourself out from underneath it.
Exactly.
Doing a short sale.
And the another positive of it, you're going to be able to buy a new property sooner than you would be at a foreclosure. Okay, so if you let it go to foreclosure, you have to wait the 7 years. If you did a short sale, based off of if you were a veteran and you're going to use a VA loan, you're going to be looking at 2 to 3 years where you can buy again. So there's a lot of positives going into it. You want to definitely talk to your CPA, because they're going to tell you the tax ramifications of all the different avenues. But yeah, there's definitely a lot of positive if you're going to just let it go to auction. Another thing to really think about, if maybe a couple years ago, and I've seen this, where the individual thought they lost the property, they thought they was foreclosed on. The bank that was foreclosing on the property, they went belly up, and someone else bought the loan up. And so now these individuals don't think they own the property anymore. They find out that it's getting foreclosed on, and they still own the property. So you might want to double check too. If you thought that you got foreclosed on, but you didn't see if it was finalized, just double check, because I've seen that happen before.
Wow, what a nightmare that'd be.
Vinny,
what's the number one thing not to do? I want to have a big takeaway here for the end of the segment. What's the number one mistake people are making? The number one not to do thing here?
I would say the number one not thing to do is if you're looking to do a modification, if you're underwater, whatever it might be, you're looking for a short sale, looking for a sale, whatever it might be, and this is any field, not all agent agents are the same. Are not. I mean, they don't have the same background. They don't have the same history. They don't have the same understanding of all these different products that are out there. So just because you know someone that's affiliated with the real estate industry doesn't mean they have all the answers. They don't do this on a full-time basis. Just make sure the person that you're talking to is an honest and trustworthy person that has the knowledge base to actually answer your questions. Because that's the
seeking
biggest
the right
thing.
counsel. Makes
And
sense.
and making sure that they actually have look them up. I always tell people, like, people talk to attorneys, they talk to whoever, and I go, they never look up their reviews. They go, well, I'm dealing with a realtor, I'm dealing with an attorney, I'm dealing with whoever, and they go, because they're classified this, that means that they're
all
thinking
the same.
They're all the same, and they're thinking
what
for
people
my
think.
best interest. And I don't know how many times I've heard it where people get taken advantage of because people are looking for the quick buck.
Yeah, I totally agree, and I see that all the time. So number one, call the bank, get your options there. Maybe explore short sale as an alternative to foreclosure if it comes
Yeah.
to that. Be careful what the bank is offering as well, because a lot of times they'll say, "We'll forbear your payments, but we're going to add it to the end of the loan." And we're going to, they're not going to give you any money. Okay, the bank doesn't give you money; they take your money. Keep in mind, you bring your money to them, and they like it like that. They like to keep it moving in that direction. So know your options. Try to make a smart, educated decision. Contact someone like Vinnie, who can help you navigate these options and ultimately find out what's going to be best for you and your family for the long haul, which is what I hope we are all in it for. Vinnie, thank you so much for your time
Thank you.
today. Really appreciate it. Stick around for more Smarter San Diego TV, where we guarantee to make you smarter than everyone else, commercial free.